More vocal Democrats on the issue. Democratic Virginia Representative, member of the House Oversight Committee, Suhas Subramanyam is with us now on set. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Is this because you don't think Iran is a threat or because you just hate Trump?
Iran is a threat, but not an imminent threat. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think
they chant death to America every Friday.
But they've been doing that for a long time. But they haven't
so we
been
shouldn't take them seriously?
We should take them seriously, but we should exhaust every diplomatic option as well. I mean,
we've been trying diplomatic options for 47 years.
But have we? You know, 10 years ago, 2015, Obama had an Iran nuclear deal, right?
Yeah,
Trump scrapped it. Well, Trump scrapped it, right? So it didn't get us very far. And so what we could have done instead, but what we could have done instead was try to make sure we double down on that.
Another bad deal?
No, I think we would have gotten a better deal eventually. But
so are you against the war with Iran, the joint Israeli-American war to liberate Iran, or are you saying that the war is okay, but there needs to be a war powers resolution or whatever it is?
I think there needs to be a better explanation than what we've gotten for this war, because even this administration seems
killing
confused.
Of thousands of Americans, restarting their nuclear program, building ballistic missiles. What else would you want?
I was told the nuclear program was already killed off, right?
But then they started it again.
But if we want to actually,
what would be enough?
So if they wanted to come to us and say, okay, this is about the nuclear program, and here's the evidence as to why it is restarted, and that's one thing. But that's not what they've done. Instead, they've given us 5 or 6 explanations. We've got Trump calling around journalists, basically focus grouping explanations and timelines and changing it every single call.
So you don't think Iran was trying to restart their nuclear program?
I certainly think that they want to be a threat and want to do that, yes. But whether they are actually an imminent threat, well, the way we can stop is diplomatically, not by spending billions on another forever war. I think that's the real problem, and why the American people are against this is because they're sick of us being dragged into these wars.
It's interesting, though, because Democrats now are so concerned about this kind of justification. But 2011, President Obama decided that the Libyan people needed to be liberated. Certainly, Libya was less of a threat to America than Iran is now. We can all agree on that. And Democrats were just fine with it. Take a listen.
You're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
I think there's an enormous amount of pressure on Gaddafi right now. I think if he thinks that pressure is going to continue, he's much more likely to step aside.
The War Powers Act has no application to what's going on in Libya.
So were they all wrong?
I think President Obama would say that was the worst mistakes of his presidency. And I think he should have gotten...
Probably not supporting the protesters in 2009 in Iran was an even worse mistake, I would argue, but go ahead.
Well, we'll see. Well, I think President Obama should have gotten authorization from Congress, but I wasn't there. But I also think that he had far more buy-in for those strikes than this president has, from the international community, domestically, from Congress. There were members of Congress calling on him to do something to support the protesters, far more than there are now. The reality is
there are a lot of members of Congress now calling to end Iran's nuclear program. I was there, so I have a little different perspective on it. I want to get you on this, though. You've got a situation now within the Democratic Party, there are people who are running for office actively on the platform of opposing America's military. This is congressional candidate Nida Alam on Iran. I believe she's running in North Carolina. Take a listen.
I'm County Commissioner Nida Alam, candidate for Congress. I'm addressing you directly because President Trump just used our taxpayer dollars to bomb a school in Iran, killing over 100 elementary school children and starting another endless war abroad. This is reprehensible, and I strongly condemn it, as should every elected official.
Really? There's a member of the Democratic Party who parrots the talking points of the IRGC, accuses the U.S. military of bombing a school, which didn't happen?
Well, we can agree, though, that bombing a school is not good, right? But it's part of what happens in the war.
But okay.
But that's not the mainstream Democratic Party at this point. I think now that...
Is that a problem, you think?
I would say that now that we are actually in this fight, that we support our troops, right? And we support our military. We want what's best for the world, for our country, right, at this point. So I think it's what most Democrats feel. Just we want a better explanation. We want to know what the actual objective are. We want a real timeline. And this administration is confused about that.
The objective issue is one that is going to continue to be a problem for them because there's, so as you point out, so many different explanations of what actually we're doing. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.